In the previous video, we noticed that every time we send a message, we wait. The terminal just sits there until Claude's response is fully generated. Then everything appears at once. For a short reply, that's fine, but anything longer and the user experience quickly deteriorates. Here's the thing. Claude doesn't hold back until it has the full response ready. It generates and emits text in chunks as it goes. What we've been doing so far is waiting for all those chunks to arrive before printing anything. Streaming just means handling each chunk as it comes in, rather than waiting to collect them all. That's the whole idea, but streaming APIs in the TypeScript SDK are quite a bit different from Python. So let's have a look. Client.messages.stream does essentially the same job as helper functions chat text or chat in the previous lessons. They take a messages array, send it to Claude, and get a response. The difference is how that response comes back. But a couple of things to flag up front. First, we didn't wrap client.messages.stream in a shared function in shared.ts like we did before. The reason is that the later lessons still rely on existing helper functions but don't use streaming, apparently to keep things simple. But if you want a challenge, you could totally try re-implementing future lessons with streaming support. Second, the lesson has two approaches to handling streamed responses, a manual one in the comment block and the cleaner SDK helper that's active. The official course covers both approaches, and we will do the same. The commented out block is the low-level approach. The Python version does the same thing. Add stream as true to messages.create, then loop over the events. In TypeScript, the loop relies on await, because each event arrives asynchronously. Python's for loop is synchronous, and the SDK handles that under the hood. In TypeScript, we need to be explicit about awaiting each event before continuing. When you iterate over the raw stream, Claude sends back several types of events, things like message start, content block delta, message stop. The official course just lists them all and jumps straight to the second approach. In practice, it's not too hard to filter based on event type. We only need content block delta to extract response text and message stop to flag the completion. Even within content block delta events, not every delta is text. Later in the course, when tool use comes in, deltas can contain tool input rather than text, which is why there is an extra check, delta.type equals text delta. If it's not text, we print a placeholder and move on. Process.standardout.write is the node equivalent for Python's print text with end. It writes without adding a new line, so each chunk flows straight into the previous one on screen. The active part of the lesson uses a cleaner approach. The Python version relies on the context manager to open and close the stream automatically, which is why reading from the stream there is wrapped in a with block. TypeScript doesn't have context managers, so client.messages.stream just returns a stream object directly. Crucially, there's no await here. The call itself doesn't block. The stream starts immediately and runs in the background, firing events as chunks arrive. On text, fires whenever the next chunk of the text is ready. By subscribing to the text event, we are saying we only care about text chunks, so no filtering with switch is necessary. It's the equivalent of Python's for text in stream.textstream, just using the event emitter pattern rather than an iterator, which is the more natural node pattern. The message stream still processes all event types underneath. You could subscribe to other events if needed. Await stream.finalText gives us the complete response as a single string, ready to store or pass on, just like the official course suggests. But in our implementation, this line also plays another important role. You might have noticed that stream.onText only registers a callback and returns straight away. The stream carries on in the background. If we left it at that, the script would exit before the stream finished. So the await on final text is what holds things in place until the stream is done. For the same reason, our done message sits below the awaited line. The Python version uses stream.getFinalMessage, which returns the full message object rather than just the text. The TypeScript SDK does offer stream.finalMessage for the same thing, but we use a convenience function finalText to keep the output tidy. npm run dev, select this lesson, and instead of a pause followed by a wall of text, you'll see Claude's response appear word by word as it generates. The done line and the full text print after the stream completes. Okay, now we know how to stream responses. It might be a small change in how we call the API, yet a meaningful one for anything user-facing. We're closing in on the first section of the course called Accessing Claude with the API, but it has one last and rather complex topic to dive into: structured outputs. Let's explore that in the next video.